Alright, what's up? So, it's been a little while since I made a video. Changed some things on some things and got into some other projects. Um, so I guess this thing's pretty much done. I got a brake on it. I don't know if I went over any of this. I probably did, but it's riding great. Um, I thought that the shifter was gonna be a little awkward because it's not like a normal dirt bike shifter. Well, it looks like a normal dirt bike shifter, but it works. Like, so all the way down is neutral, and then click up like that. It's 4 speed. Yeah, it works fine. It's actually not as awkward as I thought it was gonna be. Um, the brake feels great. Just works a regular dirt bike brake. These wheels are from a 70. That front tire is flat, but I still ride it. The suspension's working perfectly. The front end could definitely use a stiffer shock, but it's not bad. And then, oh, also, this quad, let's see here. I made fenders for it and stuff. I think that I went over this. I don't know. So, independent, well, it was always independent front suspension, but it was only a single Aeon before, and there was just a steering joint here. But what I did, I took inner tie rod and an outer tie rod end. That's an outer, and I made an upper control arm for it. Let's see if I get some light on the subject here. So yeah, you can see how that's the upper. I can adjust the camber with this tie rod end here. And then that guy back there with the bushing adjusts the caster because it pulls it front and back. Yeah, those are skateboard bushings for a truck in the back. And then they just kind of, that thing just kind of bolts in. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, there it is. It bolts to the upper Aeon. Yeah, it works really well. It stopped all my bump steer issues completely. And the fender stopped all the mud in my face issues. And also those back wheels used to scoop mud into my shoes, and that stops that. I mean, it still sprays mud everywhere behind me, but I don't know. The fronts are really what I was worried about. And another thing I'd like to do is brace this, because that's not, it's welded really well right there, and it's also got like a piece of rod going through this plate, but it just needs to be reinforced, like gusseted or something. And yeah. What else? Oh, we got this guy here. I just painted my intake manifold. I got it outside drying. I'll grab that in a second. But I made a manifold to put the a 6.5 Predator carb on this guy. It's a 4-horse Briggs. I don't know if I'm going. I have a 5-horse down there, and yeah, they both had the PTO camshaft. That one did too. Well, so you can see that white one was on there. So I JB welded that cover, cut it flush, and JB welded it and cut the cam. And yeah, it's a really strong motor. I've already had it on this mini bike. This mini bike, it's one of my old ones, but I kind of increased the front angle a little bit here. I just kind of tilted it backwards a little bit so I have more steering angle. Didn't really affect anything. It just lowered the front, made it more level. And then I replaced the bushings in the back with bearings. No real reason for that. The bushings were fine. I just had bearings laying around from my old mini bike. So I'll show you the bushings that I had on this thing. There's one. Let's see here. I also got another project I'm starting on. I'll talk about that in a second. What the hell? Oh, here's one. This is what I had in the back. It was 3/4 bushing, and it went inside of a 1-inch lock collar, and it bolted in. Yeah, those bushings are still pretty damn close to 3/4 of an inch. There's plenty of room for grease in there, obviously. But yeah, they work great. Never had an issue though. That front wheel is on bushings. Never had an issue with bronze bushings on mild steel shaft. If you have hardened keyed shaft inside of a bronze bushing, it'll eat it up like a mill, like a drill bit kind of. It'll eat up the bronze inside that key. But as long as you have mild steel without, and mild steel keyed shaft works okay too. That's what I have in here in this tranny. I replaced this front shaft here with a mild steel keyed shaft, and that's how I'm able to have a horizontal input on this quad, because obviously this one is made for a vertical shaft input, and I plugged that one up. And yeah, you can do that with these because the shift forks in there are keyed and not on splines. Like in that tranny, it's all splined internally, so for me to lengthen it, it'd be a lot of work. It'd be a lot of shaping and stuff. So that's why I have the tranny oriented like that, where I use that regular input, and then it goes up, and yeah, it works pretty well. And it also makes the motor look interesting mounted sideways like that. It's really, actually, it's definitely skinnier than one of these with a torque converter on it. Like this motor with a 30 series torque converter is definitely wider than it is long. You know what I mean? So like if you turn it that way, yeah, it works good. So yeah, let's put this on pause here. So yeah, this is the part I just finished painting up. It's a intake manifold that goes right here, like that. It bolts to this head bolt up there, and yeah, this is a hose clamp that squeezes that. And this, I ported this intake quite a bit, as you can see. It's almost as big as the exhaust, but the exhaust I have, where is it? I swear it was just over here. Oh, there it is. This exhaust fits on that motor on the mini bike, because I've already had that together. Yeah, this goes like so, and this exhaust has a little bit of a step there that goes into there, kind of help with the port velocity. Because that's just a large port. It's actually made to be to thread 3/4 inch black pipe into. That's why it's so big. So once you have the pipe threaded into there, you have because the whole exhaust port isn't that big. Yeah, so if you made a pipe this big and kind of port match this, you're really slowing down your exhaust flow, and it kind of keeps the heat lingering around. It's better to have it. That's why you see on like this thing, see like less than an inch exhaust pipe, because I mean you really don't want, right at the port, you really don't want to expand the gas and let it slow down, because it just makes the heat linger. So yeah, what was the other oh yeah, I'll show you. 1 second. So yeah, this other project here we just started. We got bearings and an axle and tubing and stuff for the, that's going to be the front of it, and it's going to have like a plate here with holes in it for the front of the frame to bolt onto the rear, so it can be broken in half and put into a smaller vehicle, so you don't have to have like a truck to carry your go-kart around. You sit here, the motor will be like the sprocket's gonna be like here. It's gonna be you could put any motor on this, but it's gonna be my buddy has a 125cc 4-speed like pit bike engine. He bought brand new. He's gonna use it for a moped, but not going to anymore. We're gonna make a go-kart for him. So yeah, we got all the parts that we need. Kind of playing it by ear. We got spindles and wheels and all the stuff. We got steering. Actually, we need some steering joints. We need a seat. We have a gas tank. We have the motor, obviously. We have some brake options. Where, like I showed. Well, we start with this. This came from a tiller. This is part of a tiller, and it goes onto a 1-inch shaft. And this circle happens to fit inside the rim that we have. And we're gonna use those as hubs. Where's the other one? This is the good one. Here it is. This is one that I've been working on. Kind of rounded it there. Starting to cut off the edges, and then I'm going to turn it and round it probably, and then drill the holes. 4 lug. Yeah. 1-inch. Probably just going to drill a hole straight through. Mount it on the axle and just drill through and bolt it to the axle, because this is obviously not keyed. This is what we have. The sprocket probably be welded, or maybe we'll do the same thing, drill a hole through the axle. I don't know. This is 1-inch shaft, it shouldn't break. And we are gonna probably have one more carrier bearing here, so the sprocket that'd be fine. So yeah, that's about it. Yeah, everything's with these two guys are running great. This one, I used to have that motor, which is perfectly fine, like pretty much brand new Predator Hemi. I used to have it on that bike, but I want to probably make like some sort of racing go-kart with that, or something to race this thing. I'm not sure yet. But yeah, I like this 4-horse. It's gonna go on to that mini bike. I think it's better suited for that bike than anything else. This one came off of a, what did this come off of? Snowblower. Small snowblower. It was really funny. So yeah, really sweet motor.